Clay from Brooklyn, football with the fellas, all about Big Blue. Here to talk about the beginning of the Harbaugh era. Just a few quick thoughts. I know you're all, like me, basking in the glow of the actual final signing. And now it is official. John Harbaugh is our head coach. It's going to mean all kinds of great things. But I just want to run through a few points real quick while I'm thinking about it, and love to hear what you think about it. So before going any further, if you are thrilled and excited about the Harbaugh era beginning, as I am, and as Mazo is, please grab that like button. Please share, subscribe, comment. Okay, all that business aside. And by the way, shout out to Big Dash Nose. I'm sporting his merch, his hat. I just love to support other Giants content creators. So, Big Dash, I love what you do. Just wanted you to know that. So yes, I'm sporting your hat today. Okay, here are my top 10 reasons why I'm encouraged about 2026 and why it might be slightly better than many people are expecting. Because some people seem to be a little down on us, even with this new coach. They're like, oh yeah, well, how much can they improve in 1 year? Here's some of my reasons why I think we're going to be significantly better and contender for a playoff position. First of all, 1A and 1B. 1A is Dayball and Bowen are gone. Wonderful thing. And 1B is Harbaugh is here. So obviously we are significantly better at head coach and probably coaching staff, period, but certainly head coach. Remains to be seen who Harbaugh hires as his coordinators. Number two, neighbors will be back. That's like having an extra first round pick and using it on a wide receiver, which is why I don't think we need to use our first round pick on a wide receiver. Number three, Scatterbo will be back. That's like having a first round pick as a running back, which is why, again, I don't think we need to use our first round pick on offense at all. Certainly not at a skill position player, because Neighbors and Scatterbo already make our offense better. And our offense wasn't the problem this year. We were already scoring in the low 20s without Neighbors and Scatterbo. They've got to be worth easily 3 points a game between them, right? Or else what's the point of bringing them back? Well, the fact that we miss them means that we expect to be better with them. If we're averaging 24 points a game, that's more than enough to be competitive. Okay, point number four, Abdul Carter will be better. I think he'll be significantly better. I think Harbaugh is going to bring more out of him as far as effort, as far as professionalism, as far as focus, preparation. I think his reputation will precede him and he will get more of those holding calls. As I mentioned earlier, he gets held a lot, but it doesn't get called that often. We heard on Hard Knocks that he had his last 5 games of the year, he got a holding call in each one of them. So he's already starting to turn that corner. He's already starting to get a little bit more respect from the refs. I think it's going to take a step forward next year. And having those two off the edge, Burns and Carter, is going to be insane. Number 5, Dart will be QB1 from day one, like he already is. And we'll have all of the reps and all the prep and all the, preseason workouts, unofficial workouts with people that he didn't get to have last year because, frankly, Russell Wilson was having them. So he's going to get that from day one. And I think that's going to make a big difference with his chemistry with the receivers and just with his overall leadership, et cetera. Point number 6, we and the entire NFC will have 9 home games next year and only 8 away games, right? That alternates every other year. So in even numbered years, the NFC gets 9 home games and 8 away games. This was an odd numbered year. We got 8 home games and 9 away games. So we have an extra home game. Point number 7, we will have the benefit of that 5th overall pick, unless we trade or whatever, up or down, but probably down. But that's going to be a very good player. And if we trade down, then maybe it becomes more than one very good players. So I think that pick is going to be significant, as will the other, draft picks. We have, 7 draft picks, but I think that one in particular and the 2nd round pick should really be impactful players. Point number 8, Banks, Hyatt, Neal, Gano, and James Hudson at a minimum will all be gone. And that is addition by subtraction in a huge way. Let me say that again. Banks, Hyatt, Neal, Gano, and James Hudson should all be gone. That is addition by subtraction. I'm here for it. Point number 9, I believe Dexter will be healthier. I'm not exactly sure what Dexter needs to do this offseason, but some combination of either surgery and or weight loss, I think, is in his near future. I think that's something Harbaugh is going to impose upon him and impress upon him and require of him. He's going to be in better shape, whatever that means, next year. And when Dexter's in better shape, the defense is in better shape. And then finally, point number 10 is just our entire coaching staff will be better. The Harbaugh regime is going to bring with it probably Todd Monken as offensive coordinator. It looks like that's the likely candidate, but whomever it is, whether it's McDaniel or Monken or whoever, um, it's going to be a staff that the players will respect and work harder for and play better under than what we've had these last few years. So that's my top 10 reasons why I think we will be better, significantly better than we were this year, and have a reasonable chance to be competitive in the playoff hunt. Now, there are a few things that concern me. One is that, yes, we came in last place, and so we will have a fourth place schedule again next year, but once again, it will be a brutal schedule. This is not a schedule that anyone should take lightly. It's already been announced who we're playing. We're not exactly sure when we play them, but we know who we're playing. Our 9 home games will obviously be the 3 games in our division: Dallas, Philly, and Washington. I think we should go into next year anticipating a victory against Washington at home. I know I am. I'm thinking we can beat Washington at home. Yes, they will have probably Jaden Daniels back and should be better than they were this year, but we should be even better than we were compared to how much better they were will be next year than they were this year. So I think we should be favored against Washington at home. We also play Arizona, Cleveland, Jacksonville, New Orleans, San Francisco, and Tennessee. Jacksonville and San Francisco will give me problems. Those are very good teams. I'm not saying we can't beat them, but I'm saying I'm certainly not expecting to beat them. We certainly won't be favored in those games, at least not if they're early in the season before we've proven ourselves. But Arizona, Cleveland, New Orleans, and Tennessee, I actually wish those were the away games because we can win those games wherever they are. Those are teams that I expect us to beat. We need to be able to beat them. And again, I kind of wish they were the away games so we would have some of the harder teams as our home games. But that's 4 games that I expect us to win, plus the Washington game. So that's 5 games that we should be able to go 5-4 at home. And if we happen to beat Dallas, which is not out of the question, we just beat Dallas. Obviously, there wasn't them at their best, but we just beat Dallas. We could wind up 6-3 at home. That would be lovely. The problem is the away games. So we have Dallas, Philly, and Washington away, and obviously, who knows what's going to happen there. We have our troubles with those 3 teams, especially in their buildings. But I'd like to think we can squeeze one of those games out. But then we have Detroit, Houston, the Colts, the Rams, and the Seahawks. That is a brutal away schedule. All of those teams we are playing on their home field. Detroit and Houston, the Rams and the Seahawks, those are really good teams. The Colts, we'll see. That's a game that I think, uh, listen, the Colts started off 7-1 this year. They were the number 1 seed in the AFC before they started having some injury problems, et cetera. But I think that's them playing like a little better than they are, and then maybe the reality set in, and maybe they're not quite as bad as they were the last, 8 or 10 games. But um, that's a game that we're going to need to win if we're going to be competitive. So that one, I think we can win. I'd like to think we can win at least one game in our division on the road, but I'll be honest, the rest of those games look rough. Again, Detroit, Houston, the Rams, and the Seahawks. Those are 4 really good teams. Detroit didn't make the playoffs this year, but talent-wise is a playoff team, and the other 3 all made the playoffs this year. So yeah, going to be a concern. But that's our schedule. It is what it is. And so, we could easily be 7-10 and still feel really good about ourselves, with that schedule. But I think we're going to do better than that. I think 9-8 is the goal. Well, no, the goal is even better than that. But let's say 9-8 is a realistic goal, and that should be competitive for a playoff spot. Things we have to do better real quick. We have to, like I said, cut several people. I'm at the point now where I'm ready to cut banks, even though that won't save us a penny. There's no dead cap, there's no savings. Cutting banks is just a net zero, and I'm here for it. Got to cut banks. If we cut Okereke, we save $9 million. We cut Singletary, we save $5.25 million. We cut Gano, we save $4.5 million. We cut Hyatt, we save $1.5 million. We cut James Hudson, we save $5.4 million. We cut Eric Gray, we save $1.1 million. All of those people need to go. Obviously, it'd be great if we could trade them, but I would be surprised if we can. So let's cut them. If we trade Darius Slayton, because if we cut him, we actually take a cap hit. But if we trade Darius Slayton, we save another $9.9 million. Maybe we package Slayton with one of those other people, maybe Okereke or maybe Singletary, so that some team gives us back a fifth or a sixth round pick. I would be happy to take a fifth round pick for Slayton and Okereke. There are lots of teams, Tennessee comes to mind, where Slayton or Okereke would be much better than the players they have at those positions, and they have tons of cap space to be able to afford them. But in any event, worst case scenario, we trade Slayton for a seventh or whatever. And all of those moves, all those cuts in that trade would bring us up from the $1.8 million in cap space that we have now to about $40 million in cap space. Now, realistically, effectively, that would leave us with about $30 million in cap space because we still have to sign our draft picks and we still have to get up to 51 players signed. But even with $30 million, we can then make some moves because right now we're actually over the cap right now, effectively, right? It shows that we have $1.8 million in cap space, but that's not including the draft picks and getting up to 51 people signed. So we're actually over the cap right now, quite a bit. So we need to make some moves. Those moves would free up enough money to sign Cordell Flott, Daniel Bellinger, long snapper Casey Kreider, Kansas City Chiefs inside linebacker Leo Chenal, Christian Wilkins, who I think we could sign on a very inexpensive prove-it deal. And here's the one that I have the outside shot at. My wish list signing is Tyler Lindenbaum, who played under John Harbaugh for his whole career so far and is a free agent, an unrestricted free agent. And if he's willing to come here with Harbaugh, I'm all in on that, even if it means cutting JMS as well or relegating him to the bench, but maybe cutting him to save a few $1 million as well. So that would be like my fingers crossed wish list: Leo Chenal, Tyler Linderbaum, and Christian Wilkins. And obviously the Giants are all in this year, right? I mean, we just spent $20 million a year for 5 years on our coach. We didn't do that so we can wind up 4-13 again. So maybe we will do what it takes to make that happen and bring in Leo Chenal, Tyler Linderbaum, and Christian Wilkins. So that's what I think that we should be aiming towards. I'll talk about the draft later, many times, I'm sure. But for now, I think that's what we should be looking to do as our plan for the free agency period, from now to the free agency period. Again, right now we have, for all intents and purposes, $8.5 million over the cap, $1.8 million in soft cap space if you don't count the draft. Those moves would free up about $30 million net, effective $40 million before the draft. So let's go do that. Let's see if we can bring in some really key players in exchange for some players who, we can live without. We've proven that we can definitely do without Banks, Okereke, Singletary, Gano, Hyatt, and Hudson, and Eric Gray, because we've had them for the last 2 years and been terrible. So they have not turned into W's. So it's time to move on. Anyway, that's what I think. Love to know what you think. Again, drop a comment, like, share, subscribe. Clay from Brooklyn, Football with the Fellas. It is all about Big Blue.
Big shout out to El Marquis Productions, the talent behind the music and production here at Football with the Fellas. It's all about Big Blue. Their beats bring energy and excitement to every episode. El Marquis' skills in mixing, mastering, and creating top quality sound make the podcast come alive each week. For your own projects, check out elmarquisproductions.com and take your sound to the next level.